What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2-pack Casey Jones and Raphael in disguise. And so here we have Casey Jones and Raphael posed and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through their accessories really fast. We'll start off with Raphael. Raphael does, of course, come with 3 different headband options. We do get one where it's parted down the middle. We get a headband option where it's off to the left, and then we get a headband option where it's off to the right. He also does come with his hat, which does fit on his head nicely. We do get 3 pairs of hands. We get a pair of grip hands. We get a pair of flat hands. Then we get a pair of hands for holding the size in the style pose method. He also comes with his 2 sides, which look really good. And then, of course, he comes with a slice of pizza. Other than that, Raphael doesn't come with anything else. I don't know what more you would want to include with him. Maybe an alternate head, but that's neither here nor there. So, moving on to Casey Jones. Casey Jones does come with several sets of hands. He does come with a pair of fists. He comes with a pair of grip hands. He comes with a pair of tighter grip hands. Then he comes with a right pointing finger hand, and he comes with a left hand for holding the weight of his weapons. And speaking of which, he does come with an array of weapons. We do get 2 baseball bats. We get a cricket bat. We get a golf club. We get a hockey stick. Then we get a goalie's hockey stick, and of course he does come with his duffel bag, which does go around the figure nicely. And if you don't want him holding any of his weapons, he can store most of them in the duffel bag, so that's a really nice little addition. Unfortunately, Casey Jones doesn't come with anything else. No alternate head with an unmasked Casey Jones. That comes later. So overall, really nice set of accessories with these figures. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually have a closer look at Raphael and Casey Jones. And so having a look at Raphael, I really do like this figure, don't get me wrong, but there's really nothing too spectacular about this Raphael figure. If you have the GameStop exclusive Raphael or the 2-pack Raphael, essentially it's the exact same figure. Now the only thing that separates him from the GameStop Raphael is that he does come with this metal parted headband as well as the coat and backpack. But other than that, he's mostly the same figure. I do believe he only came with the style pose holding the size. He didn't come with the flat hands. But overall, really love this figure. Really love the detailing on it. It's not that this isn't a very nice figure. It's just something we have seen before, thrown with a jacket over it. And he is given a backpack. But that's not to say that he doesn't have a lot of detail. Just looking at that head sculpt, it looks a lot like Raphael from the movie. And one thing to note is that his mouth is actually right on this figure. When they initially made this for the GameStop series, they did kind of pinch his mouth too shut, so you really didn't see his teeth. This one does have his teeth showing more, so I do like the expression on this one. And you can see he still has his scar right here, giving him a lot of character. Really do like the red that they used for his headband, and of course they did add a black wash. And something I really love about these GameStop, or the movie Turtles, I don't know why I keep calling them GameStop, but they all have the unique patches and spots that they should have, which is accurate to the movie. I love it. That's a really nice little detail. Now, like I said, it's the exact same figure that we got previously. Be it, he does have this really nice overcoat, which does hang really nicely. And if you weren't sure that this was a really big dude in a jacket, you wouldn't suspect anything different. And I do like the fact that he wears a backpack to kind of hide his shell. But yeah, it's kind of strange when you see somebody this big walking in a trench coat. The trench coat does look really nice, and it is tied down right here on the side. You can see the belt does go all the way around the figure. If you really wanted to, you could take this off and have a standard Raphael, but I don't know why you would want to do that unless you don't have Raphael in your collection. But I don't understand how you wouldn't have one, seeing as how he came out twice, single and 2-packed. Really loving the detailing on the backpack, although I kind of wish that they added some wash to the backpack. I know there is a little bit, but a little bit more weathering would have been nice on the figure. As well as a little bit of weathering to the jacket. It's kind of too clean for Raphael. I don't ever remember his jacket being this clean. It would be a little bit more dirty. He does come from the sewers after all. But yeah, I really like the stitch work in it, and it is very functional. The wire at the bottom would have made it so much better, but overall I can't really complain. It's a really nice addition to the Raphael. And of course you can see his knee pads right here. So nothing too much to say about the figure. The detailing on him is phenomenal, and the jacket does look really nice, and it fits him perfectly, although you will have some limited articulation, which we will get into in a little bit. So that's Raphael for you guys. So let's actually move on to the main attraction of this set, Casey Jones. And so here we have a closer look at Casey Jones, and NECA has done a really great job with the detailing on this figure. You can see his eyes peeking through the mask, which look perfect. Now, one thing to note is that the eyes are not photoreal. They didn't take an image and just put it on the character. Those are just hand-painted eyes. We will be getting a Casey Jones with the photoreal face, but overall I still like the way this one came out. I love the mask detailing right here. It looks really good, and I love the way the eyes just poke through the mask. It's a really nice little detail. You can even see his mouth underneath the mask. Now, we will be getting a Casey Jones without his mask and with an interchangeable head. As far as this one goes, I still like the initial look of it, but I do have some issues with it that we will get into. I don't have an issue at all with the face or the mask. That's a really good sculpt, and I love how it looks. It just captures the look of Casey Jones perfectly, and I love that the straps do go over his hair and under his hair, just like you would see on an actual mask like this. So really nice detail there. And another good detail, they did add his chest hair. Casey Jones is a very hairy man, and they did sculpt his chest hair in, which is something they really didn't have to do, but they went the extra mile to do so. Really do like his vest here. It's like a denim vest over a white shirt. Now, one thing I didn't notice on mine is that there is some paint rub. The paint from his vest is rubbing onto his shirt, although it's not that big a deal. His shirt is a little bit grimy, so I guess I can let it slide as his shirt is just dirty. And I really do like that he has the greaser sleeves where it's just moved up off of his bicep, just enough to show off his muscles, but you can obviously tell that the shirt should be longer. So really do like that greaser look to him. And I want to say this is a denim vest. It looks like a denim vest, to be quite honest, and you can see it has some really nice detailing here. We have some tears and some fabric right there. Really does look like he just ripped the sleeves off his denim jacket, and we do have some really good pockets and sculpt work right there. One thing I'm not a fan of is how they did his elbows. It's okay when it's a mechanical-like arm that we see with the xenomorphs, but on a human and it's just flesh, it kind of doesn't work out, and that's one thing that I know NECA did say they would improve on when they released the Ultimate Casey Jones, but until then, this is the only version I have. I do like the sculpt work on it, don't get me wrong. I do like the veins on his arms, and I love the hair that they had sculpted on, but yeah, not a fan of this particular joint. I don't know why NECA likes using this joint. I get that it's functionality, but it's really not that great of a joint, to be quite honest. And then just moving down his pants, he is just wearing white sweatpants or warm-ups, whatever you want to call them. Not too spectacular, but they do have a really nice detail texture on them, and they do have some seam work going through them, so really do like that. Of course, the smooth spots would be where his joints are, but that's not a big deal. Going down to the cuffs around his ankles, you can see that he does have his socks exposed, which look really good. I do like that. And then we do have his shoes. So overall, Casey Jones here has a lot of nice detail. I do like the shoes. They didn't sculpt anything on the underside, but they kind of wanted to. You can see it right here on the side. I kind of wish that he had some texturing on the bottom of his shoe, but overall Casey Jones here gets a pass in my book. It works for what it's supposed to be. So that's Casey Jones detail for you guys. So what we're going to do now is actually compare Casey Jones and Raphael to other figures you may have in your collection. And so here we have Casey and Raph posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Casey and Raph posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure in the Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have Casey and Raph posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And finally, here we do have Casey and Raph posed next to the NECA Ultimate April O'Neil and Leonardo. So with the comparisons out of the way, guys, let's actually move on to their articulation. We'll have a look at Raph first because we have had a look at a turtle figure in the past. He does have a double ball joint in the head, which does let him look up really nicely. He can look down really good, and we get some really impressive head tilt. And plus, with the different headband options, you can mix and match how you want them. His arms are on ball joints that only go out to about that far. Even with the jacket, the original figure didn't go past horizontal, so that is a little bit unfortunate. Because he is wearing the jacket, he doesn't get a full 360, but his arm does go surprisingly a good amount all the way back. Yeah, he almost goes all the way around going back and forward, so I really do like that. He doesn't have a bicep swivel, but we do have rotation at the elbow. We also do have a double hinge at the elbow, but he does have an elbow pad right here, which does hinder articulation in the elbow, so we really only get 90 degrees with him. We, of course, do get forearm rotation. Then we get a swivel and hinge at the wrist. Now, he does have a ball joint here at the torso, and the ball joint is somewhere right here, but as you would imagine, his shell does prevent too much movement. It does move forward and back, and some side to side, but very little rotation because of his shell. And even though the shell is a softer material, it's not soft enough to flex and mold and bend, so that is a little bit unfortunate. He can kick his legs out to about right there, kicks back, out to the side. I think they can do the split. Yeah, if you really wanted to, he could do the splits, no problem. He does have thigh rotation up high. We do have a double bend here at the knee, but just like with his elbow, the knee pad does get in the way. We get knee swivel, which works fine. We get an ankle hinge, which goes back and forward, and then forward facing pin for rocker ankle. So overall, Raphael has some pretty respectable articulation, being a turtle and all. Moving on to Casey Jones, once again we do get a double ball joint in the head, and despite having longer hair, his head does move back and forward nicely. He does have some really nice head tilt, and that does turn left and right. Shoulders are on ball hinges, so they do go out to the side, all the way horizontal. I do like that. They go all the way around, no problem, and the vest does get out of the way because it's a soft material. No bicep swivel. We get a swivel here at the elbow, as well as double jointed knee. We get forearm rotation because of how NECA designed it. Then we do have a swivel and hinge here at the wrist, which works no problem. I do believe he has a ball joint right here at the lower torso because he does crunch forward and back, as well as some pivot. He also does rotate side to side. Legs go forward only to about right there, so it's not a full horizontal. They do go back only to about right there. They do go out to the side, no problem, really do like that. That's a little bit stiff. I'm a little bit worried bringing that joint in that I might pop the leg or even break it, so gotta be careful with that. We do have thigh swivel. Then, unfortunately, we only have a single bend at the knee, which does give us 90 degrees, but I would have liked to see a double bend there. We do have rotation at the knee. Then we do have a hinge in the ankle, which does go back and forward. And I don't know if there's a pin in there or not, but it doesn't seem like there's any rotation, either side to side or pivot. So unfortunately, that's all you're going to get out of Casey. But overall, they both have respectable amount of articulation for what they are, and I do like the way they came out. So with that being said, guys, let's actually get these guys posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have Casey Jones and Raphael in disguise posed for my final thoughts, and overall I really do like this set. NECA has once again done an amazing job with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie figures, and this set is no exception. I really do like the accessories each of them comes with. Raphael's hands are perfect for holding the size, as well as the slice of pizza that he does have, and I do like the inclusion of the different headband options that we do get. I think the disguise Raphael is one of the funniest things in the movie. He's a turtle in a really big overcoat, and it's really obvious that he's not human and he somehow passes as a human. That is so amazing. I think it would work more in today's world, but back then people were more observant, so I don't think quite as much. Casey Jones, on the other hand, comes with a lot of options to display him with. You can see I do have him with all his weapons either in his duffel bag or in his hand, which is a very, very nice thing about Casey Jones. He can actually hold all his accessories at one time, so that's one thing I do like about this figure. Casey Jones is an exceptionally well done figure, and if you can get past the way his joints look, this is a really solid figure. Now, I did have issues getting this figure out of the package. When I initially got him out, the crotch piece actually split in half. Thankfully, it wasn't broken, it was just split in half, but it's just showing that they didn't really glue mine in properly. But I was able to fix Casey Jones properly, so the hips work, everything works good. I just don't feel like customers need to be making repairs like that on their figures, and that's something NECA needs to understand, is that the quality of the figures does make a difference. You can make the best looking figure in the world, but if it doesn't have the quality that you expect, it's not that great of a figure. Now, thankfully Casey Jones wasn't broken and I was able to fix him. I do know some people have actually broken their Casey Jones at the crotch piece, so do be careful when posing Casey Jones around. Don't force anything. As I always say with NECA figures, heat them up before you start moving things around, because if you try moving them cold turkey, chances are you might snap something. And thankfully the plastic on these guys does seem very durable. I just wouldn't test their limits by forcing something that's frozen. Always got to heat up your joints. Overall, really happy with this set. NECA did a wonderful job recreating that opening scene of Casey Jones versus Raphael. If you are looking for this set, it was available at Walmart at one point. At the time I'm making this video, there isn't Casey Jones and Raphael at Walmart anymore. This was a set that people were going crazy for, selling for $300, which was insane. I never found this set at retail, which that was a bummer. I did want Casey Jones, but I didn't find him. Thankfully, NECA was able to give these guys out on their NECA store website, and that's how I picked mine up. I'm really happy that I did find out that they were doing that, and it really does show that NECA listens to its fan base. Although not 100%, they still listen to us from time to time. This set did cost me about $45, so it did come out to close to $60 after shipping, which is quite steep, but it did save me all the time and gas trying to find this in retail. I don't think I would have ever found it. Seeing as how my area is full of Ninja Turtle fans, this set is done very nicely. So if you haven't already picked this set up, the only way you're going to get it is secondhand market, unfortunately, and that is already going no cheaper than $150, so be expecting to pay that much at bare minimum if you didn't pick this set up from Walmart or the NECA site. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews as well as all my other NECA and Ninja Turtle videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you'd like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it fits in my collection, I'll gladly have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.